We're at the ASA in London, Kentucky with Dan McCarthy. First of all, we're going to talk about today. Dan shot very well. He's sitting in fourth place going into the second round of the tournament tomorrow. How'd it go out there today, Dan?
It went pretty good, actually. This year's been up and down for me. I struggled a lot with a shoulder injury, and I've been trying to baby it and rehab it and get back. And I changed bows. They come out with a new Chill-X, and it's a chance for me to shoot a little lighter poundage and a little higher let off and get away from some shoulder pain. And I feel like it's definitely a good fit for me. I shot really well.
Great. I know Dan has been a long time True Ball and Axcel pro staffer, and tell us a little bit about what you're using, what you're still using. I know you've used a lot of the same equipment for a long time now.
Yeah, I'm shooting the Absolute 360 right now. This is actually a proto that we had. I've shot this thing for 4 years now. I think same exact model. Love it, and it's beat up. You can see it. It's beat up. This thing's got a ton of arrows through it. And then I ever since you guys came out with the Axcel, I've ran it. I like the new model. The Chief's awesome. I mean, it is built like a tank. It's light. Never have ever had a problem with it. And you know, I've shot a lot of stuff, and I've seen a lot of sights break. And I mean, it's just one of those things that a lot goes into your sight. I mean, you're relying on it every shot, and I love it. I mean, I've never had a problem with them, and it's good stuff.
How long have you been pro now, Dan? And you know, as far as your transition, I know we have a lot of younger archers. We have new beginners, you know, out there. Tell us a little bit about your transition up through the ranks and the choice you made as far as getting to the pro division.
Oh, really? I guess the same advice I give everybody with that. For me, I started out. I shot 1 year in young adult. I took my lick in the beginning. You know, it's probably a good thing. Good things coming from a local area, shooting at home. You know, I did really well. I won a ton of tournaments. Shot in the adult class, won a bunch of tournaments. Thought I was good, and then I found out there's national tournaments. And me, you, and Danny Evans used to travel together when we were younger. And the first tournament I went to as young adult, I got my butt kicked. I think I got 17th or 18th place out of 30 kids, and I was so used to winning everything. And it was a good reality check to let me know where I'm at. And I went home and practiced my butt off, and ended up winning the last 3 tournaments of the year. I won the Illinois and the Classic and the IBO Worlds. So it was really good for me to take that beating, because I learned a lot. I mean, that's where first time I seen back tension and realized that my draw length was too long by looking at everyone else's form. And from young adult, I went to Open C, and at the time Open C was a big money class. There wasn't they didn't kick you out like they did this year or these years, which was good. I mean, me, you, Tommy Gomez, there was a lot of good shooters that shot C, and coming out of young adult, it was a chance for me to kind of cut my teeth and find out where I sat in the men's class. And then we shot MBO and in IBO, which was a really tough class. I shot 1 year of that. Had a pretty good season in Open C. I think I won 5 out of 7 tournaments. It was 1 shooter year. Next year I went to semi-pro. Had a good year in semi-pro, 1 shooter of the year in that, and shot against some really good shooters. And then from there I got moved into pro, and lucky enough I won my very first tournament ever shooting in pro class in Florida. So it was a chance for me to know that I belonged in that class, and that's probably the hardest thing, is getting a win in this class. It's once you win your first one, your second or third or fourth or fifth or whatever ends up seeming a lot easier. But it's, there's a lot of guys that have what it takes in the class to win and do well, but it's a confidence thing. Until you break that barrier and actually realize that you can do it, it takes a lot of people a little bit of time to get there.
So those are pretty good tips, for anybody new getting into archery. Technically, as far as equipment's concerned, is there one thing that that stands out in your mind that you would tell our viewers might make them a better archer?
Yeah, actually, I think one of the downfalls a lot of people have in this sport is they're always looking for the next piece of equipment to give them the edge, or to make them better, instead of reflecting on themselves. And usually, this stuff is built so well anymore that most people blame the wrong thing. I guess the best piece of advice I could say is buy good equipment, or get yourself, stuff that you can rely on, and then from there just stay with it. Learn to perfect. If you get a release that's a good release, and learn to perfect it. Like, don't switch every single year, or shoot a trigger this weekend and a hinge next weekend and back to a different trigger the next weekend. Don't be a jack of all trades, because you end up being a master at none. Take one release, learn to perfect it, learn to actually make a perfect shot with it. Get a sight, make sure it's perfectly level, perfectly plumb, and get a good lens, and just shoot the bow. Learn to do everything right instead of trying to buy your way to the top of the podium, because you're not going to get there very often if that's what you try to do.
Well, it's definitely great advice for everybody, and we wish you the best of luck tomorrow out there. Good luck.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks.